Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And man, it's good to be home. You know that? I am in Laguna Beach, California. Florida was fantastic, but the humidity, man, I could do without the humidity. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of national news, a lot of breaking stories, a lot of things you guys need to know about. We're going to share with you today. I'm going to share with you one of my favorite places growing up as a kid that I got to enjoy. And let's get into it. Before I do, please don't forget to like the video, hit the subscribe button, share it with all your friends and colleagues, and let's get into it. One thing that's beautiful about Laguna is you've got all these different walkways. You can park your car, walk down to the water, walk down to the tide pools. Just a stunning place to visit. And again, as a kid, it's incredibly cheap to go to the beach. I learned that as I got older. I used to ask my parents, we had so many kids, it's cheap to go to the beach. Learned that, so anyways, very lucky. The first story is about Bitcoin. Great story out of CNBC and a couple other sources today, and that was that China wants all the Bitcoin miners out as soon as possible. Beijing's kicking them out. And in the last few days, you've seen Bitcoin go up above 40 grand again because Elon Musk is talking about it and promoting it again, saying that he feels that there's an inexpensive way to produce it. It's going to be safe for the environment and all that stuff. Now, what they're talking about is that Bitcoin miners may move to Texas because there's an abundance of solar energy and abundance of wind energy. But again, you know, the thing I was floored about with this last winter was how Texas had that huge problem with the spike in energy costs. So I don't know how it's going to be good. You can say, well, Dan, it's solar. It's all going to be free to produce. Solar is expensive to set up, guys. It's not free to set up. You just don't throw something out in the sun and it produces energy. You've got to have all the panels and inverters and everything else that creates this so-called free energy. So share your thoughts, guys. Is this going to be the thing that's going to do it? Anyways, as I walk down to the first section, pretty amazing down here. And again, everybody's out enjoying a nice summer day. I'm going to show you guys some of the cool spots I walked through as a kid and share some more of the news. As you walk on the sand, you can just put down a beach chair, a blanket, an umbrella if you want, and just hang out. Here you've got the waves crashing in. You've got a ton of seagulls that are eating what's ever left of the seaweed, which is kind of cool. But a lot of people swim out here. They really don't recommend that you swim out here. It's funny, there's a sign when you come down the stairs that says no swimming, surfing only, which I always get a kick out of. But you can see, you know, everything out here. As the waves crash in, you can see all of the seaweed. Now, we got 3 parts of bad news today with the economy. Horrific. In a normal year, you guys, this would have destroyed the economy by, you know, you would know, by the stock market, you would have seen it drop today by probably 2,000 or 3,000 points today, but it's not going to happen. There were 3 things that were announced this morning like it's no big deal, okay? And the first one was the factory index fell off the cliff. What people produce here in the States, what manufacturing, factory index, that's what that covers basically. And it, again, we don't make anything and it's falling off a cliff and it's absolutely getting worse. And May was no exception, June was no exception. New York factories were down, which I didn't know New York had too many factories, but I'm a West Coast kind of guy. New York factories were down a whopping 17.4% in May alone. And this is horrible, guys. The next thing is retail sales, which we all knew that. Retail sales, and if you watch this channel, Jeremiah Babes, other channels out there that show reality, you're showing that there is no retail so to speak. You know, Miami and Fort Lauderdale had really nice areas. They had some great areas that were really doing well. But, you know, as you go inland, as you get away from some of these beach communities, you're seeing more and more problems. And these places couldn't make it. Like the yacht club couldn't make it. So retail sales are down a staggering amount. Now, here's the ridiculous part of this, is they're trying to tell us that retail sales are only down 1.3% during this time. In the last 60 days it was reported. It's more than that, guys. It's considerably more than that. And I'm about to get taken out by a wave as I stand here. So, retail sales are at the floor. Now, the other thing is the producer price index. Now, the producer price index in the last month that was reported, which was May of 2021, has gone up 6.6%. That's the number that they're telling us. Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe it at all, okay? We're seeing prices on the B2B level go up so much higher. And, you know, one thing you've got to follow on this channel is you've got to follow the comments that people are writing. And there's so much to be learned from these comments. One of the subscribers wrote to me, and he's got a small farm. He's got 60 animals. And, you know, he's like, Dan, I'm feeling the pinch because prices are shooting up right now. Now, give you an idea, he buys 2 months supplies of corn for the animals. And I'm a city boy. I love going to the farm, checking it out, but I don't know what's eating the corn. So he buys these large bags of 50-pound bags of corn. 2 months ago, they were $6.75. $6.75. The latest round, the cheapest he could find, and he had to look, which meant his time, gas, effort, and everything, which everybody's like, oh, I shopped all over town to find this. Well, you spend more money and you waste more money sometimes, but he couldn't find a deal on the corn. The corn went from $6.75 a bag for 50 pounds to $10.90. So I included something really cool in this video. There's going to be a price calculator downstairs that I found in the video description. Check it out. But that's a 61% increase, guys. 61% increase to feed the animals on the farm. So if you're not feeling this, you're kidding. This is going up on everything that you buy, okay? You know, simple cups of coffee that have gone up 50 cents, cheese, yogurts, everything that we're seeing right now is absolutely shooting up. And again, B2B prices, that's the problem. And one thing that I loved about going to Florida is that the people were very friendly, and I got to talk to a lot of different people that worked for the city. And also ask city employees, you know, where you would go, where you would eat. You know, again, meter maids, people writing tickets, those are the best people because they're very friendly. Everybody treats them horribly, and then you go out and you ask them questions, and they're wealth of knowledge. Where to eat, you know, where is it safe, where is it not safe, a little bit of everything. But as you go into the restaurants and you start talking about prices and stuff like that, you know, one place I took a break in on Sunday that I got a kick out of was the menu. You know, they love the digital menus because they can change the price overnight, wake up in the morning, upgrade the website, and when you sit at the table and you scan the QR code, you can see the new prices. But everything's going up right now. And one restaurant told me that 116 items on the menu, 116, 90 of the 116 have gone up routinely over the last 2 months. Okay, which means if they're going up, you're paying more, he's paying more. That's interesting, guys. So inflation is here, guys, and it's all around us. Take advantage of it, stock up. When there's something that you know you're gonna use, if you can afford it, stock up on it right now. Take advantage of that. It's really the thing to do. It's really important, you know. So I hope you guys are getting the feel for this place down here. It's pretty nice. But again, no one's gonna sit on the seaweed stomp right here. I kind of force the birds off their little habitat. But you know, this place, again, guys, see this behind me? Those are caves that when the tide goes out, we used to go through those caves. Really cool. So again, you know, what can you do? What can you take your kids to that doesn't cost any money? You know, I mean, this was the perfect thing. I mean, my family would do stuff like this all the time, and we had the time of our lives. It was free. Now, one thing that's nice is that little island out there is loaded with wildlife, and the paddle boarder is going to go and get as close as he can. They don't want people swimming out here, but the divers come out here quite a bit and they dive. Now, here's a story out of the New York Times that affects a lot of small business owners, and that is the small business grant for restaurants. The restaurant grant had $28.6 billion that they were going to give out. And something very frustrating happened to a lot of people. They set it up to where it was minorities and women-owned first that could apply for this. There was almost 3,000 people that got approved for this, and a judge in Tennessee and a judge in Texas overturned this and said it wasn't fair to everybody that applied for it. That being said, what the judge did was he stopped the funding midstream and put a restraining order on it so that there will be no funding right now. The exact number is 2,864 businesses that were told they were getting funding and the funding stopped. Okay, first things first, if you guys are in business and you get business income in any way, there's two things you have to have for your business. You need a good accountant and you need a good lawyer, okay? Because first things first, the fact that the SBA did not fund these people in a timely fashion is a crime, okay? If you go to a bank and you fill out a loan application, what's one of the first questions you ask? When are you going to fund? Once you say yes, when do you fund me? Okay? Well, the SBA has waited a month and a half on some of these people. So, Mr. Leone, a guy in Wisconsin, here's a guy that had his funding all set. Now, understand this. This guy's going to get a grant. I don't know how much it was for. The article didn't say. But this guy was going to get a grant, and he was going to move his business forward, and now he's not getting the grant. He should sue everybody. I'm telling you, there will be so many lawsuits as a result of pandemic funding and things not going right and things not going fair. Who's been funded already? Has the SBA funded special interest groups and their friends already? Have people been given those grants? If they have, Mr. Leone should have his money. Again, I would have already been in court if it was me and I was eligible for that. Now, understand, there's been two things that my business has been screwed out of. One of them was the $10,000 EIDL grant that we all should have gotten. I applied for it the first day and didn't get it. The second thing was the Shuttered Venues grant. When they set up the Shuttered Venues grant program, they set it up to where people that were promoters, not wedding planners, not people like that, people that had events that sold tickets, concert venues, concert promoters and things like that. And then they changed it to say you have to rent or own the facility. Put so many people out of business. And then when the program came out, they delayed on getting it set up. And what do you know? ArcLight went out of business. This is one of the reasons the ArcLight filed bankruptcy and finally shut down, was because they didn't get that grant. So you're going to see a lot of problems with this. The SBA never should have been responsible to fund these programs. Never, ever, ever. They should have turned them over to banks, because banks are greedy and horrible, and all they want to do is get things funded and move forward. But people would have got their money faster. Share your thoughts below. Is this beautiful or what? Now here's two more stories out of CNBC that are utterly ridiculous because they both contradict each other so much. And that is, the first one and the second one are both about inflation. The first one said that the average consumer is getting really freaked out and worried about inflation. Rightfully so. Everything's going up right before our eyes, and it's skyrocketing. Prices on everything. Hard goods, consumables, supplies, everything that we, energy, everything. And then they interviewed the most professional investors, which the link will be below in the video description. It's absolutely preposterous. The most professional investors, they said, oh, inflation's only temporary. Only temporary. How can you have inflation only be temporary? Because they want you on the treadmill. They want you to buy into the Ponzi scheme of the stock market. They want you to understand that, they want you to keep buying stocks and keep believing that this thing is only going to go up. And so far it has. I mean, let's face it, things are not, going down in any way, shape, or form right now. But Fed Day is this week. And you're going to see the Feds talk about not raising interest rates, and there's going to be all this speculation and worry. What are they going to do? Oh my gosh, it's going to be terrible. Are they going to raise rates? They're not. This is a charade, guys. This is a complete farce, and everything will go up, and then the stock market will shoot up again. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, you've got inflation, retail suffering, factory orders down. Everything's down, but you're going to see it all shoot up again. Mark my words, it's not going to have a bit of help to it. The building is on fire that you guys are living in, and don't worry, stay here. Now, this brings up a good point. I live in California, and we are in earthquake territory, and again, we've had a bunch of big earthquakes. You've seen them on the news and history and things like that. I've lived through hundreds of them that I've felt. Some you feel, some you don't, some are too far away to feel, whatever. But they're traumatic when they happen. But one thing you have to have here in California is an earthquake kit. You're supposed to. Enough water to live for 7 to 10 days. Food for 7 to 10 days. Money, cash, all this stuff set aside so that if there is in fact a big earthquake and you can't get city services, you can't call the cops, you can't call the fire department, you've got a way to get help. Now, I resisted this. I live in a nice building, not going to worry about it, la 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 la, okay? Well, my adult daughter was like, enough is enough, you need to have the earthquake kit. So, again, I have the earthquake kit now. Do you guys have the earthquake kit? Again, this economy needs an earthquake kit, and you need to prepare. Stock up and save. Don't act like it's going to last forever, okay? Because they're not going to kick these moratoriums down the road. They're not going to keep them happening over and over and over again. You're going to have to pay your student loan debt. You're going to have to pay your landlord. If you can't pay, you got to move out. You got to figure out who you're going to live with and what you're going to do. You got to have security for your family. You got to have security for yourself and be healthy. If you're not healthy, none of this is going to mean anything, okay? So take some advice. Get an earthquake kit if you know what I mean. I'm going to end this one on this story, and that is about catalytic converters being stolen. Now, I don't know if I shared this with you guys or not, but a couple months ago, a car was parked in front of my girlfriend's house, and thieves in the middle of the night lifted up the old Prius and cut the catalytic converter off and completely destroyed the car. Completely destroyed it. Destroyed it, okay? Car's done, car's finished. And when the cops came out, they said, oh, there's such a rash of catalytic converters being stolen. And, it was Huntington Beach Police, and they just were very nice, but they explained to me how there's something very valuable in there called rhodium, which rhodium is a precious metal that can get as much as $25,000 an ounce. And again, they take these catalytic converters and turn them in for cash and prizes, I guess. So, very interesting. So much so that this has been a continual problem. And one thing that happened was 2 days after my catalytic converter got stolen, there was a group in Anaheim, California, which is about 10 miles, 15 miles away. And a guy was stealing a catalytic converter, was under the car fell on him, he died. His crew left him there for dead, and the police came out, and the next morning found a guy with his legs sticking out of a Prius, of all things, and that's that. So, a real problem. This problem has gotten so bad in Orange County that they set up places where you can drive in, elevate your car, and they will etch your license plate number on the catalytic converter. So, they did this in the city of Buena Park over the weekend, and Buena Park had a huge turnout of people that came in and did this, and etching the catalytic converters on high-profile cars that are getting stolen. again, guys, the economy's so great, people are stealing catalytic converters, okay? It's preposterous. Prepare, get ready. You know, when I have more time, guys, I'll come down here again, okay? I've got a meeting I've got to get to. I just wanted to film a quick video for you guys. Please reach out. You've got the email down below. Hit us up on all the social media channels. If you want to join Patreon, please sign up for Patreon. Be kind to one another. It's good to be home, okay? And I will see you very soon. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And again, a lot of cool things coming up. Can't wait to share it with you guys. Good luck to everybody.